I was hoping you could talk a bit about your creative rapport with Bobby Wellens.
Oh yeah, well yeah, Bobby and I met in a band who used to be run by Tony Crombie, and you know, there was a sort of instant rapport between the two of us, and we you know, through the 60s, early 70s, you know, we worked together quite a bit, and then for various reasons, not personal, you know, we didn't work together for quite a while. Then when we all got better, we got back together again. And yeah, you know, I love Bobby's playing, I love his sound, and it's just one of those things, you know, we just like playing together.
Now my next question, I've just got a couple more for you. This is a bit of an elusive question, but for all intents and purposes, you've lived the lifespan of British jazz and participated. What is it in your mind that distinguishes the British and American approaches to jazz, and really the relationship that each culture has with the music? I mean, from a British perspective in the 40s, I can only imagine there was an exoticism to having this music come out of this very American sound. But on the other end of it, it would seem, looking at it from here, that a British musician wouldn't necessarily have the same baggage, wouldn't have all the weight of history and feel bound by that.
Yeah, but there's another weight that I don't know if we still carry it, but you know, back in the 60s and 70s, we had the baggage of being copyists and not as good as, and you know, sometimes, you know, particularly the people who came to Ronnie's, the reviewer would apologise for the rhythm section. You know, this great artist having to work with these people, it's, you know, it's a crime. So that was our baggage.
And how accurate was that perception?
I think it was more in their minds than it was in ours. You know, if any of the, you know, apart from Bias and Thompson, if anybody was unhappy with what we were doing, how we were accompanying them, I'm sure it would have filtered back to us somehow, but you know, it never did.
So one imagines that some American musicians has kind of a chip on their shoulder about coming and maybe not taking the accompanists as seriously, and maybe sort of looking down their noses at
Thompson and Bias, yeah.
But then there's the very well documented compliment from Sonny Rollins. What did that, silly question, but when he said, when he complimented your playing and asked, you know, do you know how good he is? At that point in your career, how much meaning did that have for you to receive praise and an endorsement from someone of his standing?
Well, it was nice, but I'll never know if he was just being nice.
Okay. My last question for you, then I'll leave you to enjoy our fair city here. Some of the places you've played stand out, such as you were invited to play Beijing and Guangzhou officially by the government, the first jazz musician ever to officially be invited to play mainland China after you played the Hong Kong, played in Hong Kong. You've also played the Middle East with the Royal Air Force in Egypt and Palestine.
Well, no, I mean, we've also done tours of South America for the British Council, tours of the Middle East for the British Council. If you're talking about Egypt and Palestine, that was in
1946.
Yeah, that was an entertainment unit called RAF Gang Show,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I was in the RAF for about
Right.
2 years, and went straight into that, and you know, it was just a bunch of guys. It was pretty awful, really. But there you go. You know, I toured around with a mini piano, as played by Princess Ingrid of Sweden. I used to read that every night when I was playing this damn thing. Yeah, we just played loads of camps in Palestine and Egypt and a couple in Cyprus. Yeah, that was nothing to do with anything. It was really a cop out from the RAF.
Okay, sort of the equivalent of maybe what a USO trip
Yeah,
you would
you
be
go,
playing
yeah.
to servicemen.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, later on in your career, you know, by 1997,
Mhm.
and having gone to these places later
Yeah.
on your own, again, having to ask the godfather of British jazz, what have those experiences done for your worldview and also for your sense of how jazz is received and taking hold in other parts of the world, as clearly it is?
Well, if you're talking about China, you know, they were very enthusiastic, as they were in Hong Kong. You know, some places, you know, we'd be playing for expats
Mm-hmm.
who weren't particularly into jazz, but they just turned up because out of morbid curiosity, I guess.
Or they needed something, so the closest thing to
Yeah.
home they could get.
Maybe. I never found out. Yeah, you know, if you're talking about the sort of music I play, I think the biggest appreciation for it is in the UK. You know, Europe is something else. It's a different sort of music. But you know, where we do play, we're usually well received, and people seem to like it. You know, I don't have any views really about, you know, the question you ask. You know, you get on a plane, you go there, you do the gig, and you get back, and you're off again. You know, you can't really take in, you know, what's happening, attitudes or anything like that. It's in and out. You know, you either, you know, have a good gig, people like it, and you're away.